The genetic mess. Can a long-lost brother and half-sister have an emotional affair? Anyone ever heard of genetic attraction? GSA has up to a 50% rate. It sounds so powerful I can't even compete. My wife recently was contacted through Ancestry and been reunited on social media with a half-brother that their mother gave away at birth. Their ages are 55 and 60. It started off with emails, then texting, phone calls, and finally FaceTime. She was a late sleeper, but early rising and primping seemed to take a priority to get on FaceTime at least 2 hours earlier than her normal waking time. He had become the first and last person she communicates with daily for 4 to 5 hours, 7 days a week. It was well beyond friendship hours past midnight and 3 a.m. East Coast time. I see texts where she was bad-mouthing me. He is having marital problems prior to contacting my wife. She told me his wife is self-centered. How she knows that I don't know. They have become each other's emotional cheerleaders. I can't believe just meeting someone. Tell each other that they miss each and love each over a dozen times a day. And there are many, many more red flags. It seems she become judgmental towards me, and of course everything is my fault because you never listened to me. Seriously, I don't know where the anger and disrespect came from. She is blame shifting to justify her actions. When I try to communicate it as, why are you beating me up? We traveled the world. She doesn't have any financial worries, and I thought our relationship was great. We've been married for 40 years, and in less than 30 days I've been kicked to the curb. I read numerous articles on emotional affairs. It sure seems to fit. We even took some online e-quizzes, and they indicate we are nearing a divorce. I wrote her half-brother and told him I was not comfortable with both of their flirtatious behaviors. I am not used to my wife waking to greet him every morning, texting for hours during the day, and lastly spending hours being smitten on FaceTime every night. She said she cannot stop communicating with him. She just refuses to believe there is an emotion affair since they have the same mother and never did anything wrong. I spoke up and show her dozens of articles without any true acknowledgement, only that he is her brother. My only saving grace is he lives in 2,000 miles away. She knows how this is negatively affecting our relationship, but I guess GSA already took a firm grip. He knew of GSA and is playing her emotions like a fiddle. She is still on FaceTime with him. There is no winning and losing. OMW, she believes I am the bad guy for speaking up. Little does she knows her husband told my wife he wants to divorce her. I understand he retired from the military with 100% PTSD. He apparently goes to counseling for me telling him to slow his roll. His counselor indicated my letter to him was a little strong. I will post my letter. It is all so unbelievable. I have their kissy face text messages. I know how this works. Deny, 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 then lie. The email I sent her half-brother. The names have been changed to protect the guilty. His counselor indicated it is a little strong. So, what? I've been with Jamie for 42 years, and this September it will be 40 years married. I am her husband and father of 2 beautiful daughters. I understand you are angry and pissed because I believe you two are having an emotional affair. I would rather you feel honored that I spoke my piece to protect Jamie and our family. I am real man and your brother-in-law who will shield his family from harm because I love them. You need to know and understand Jamie is my world. I am not comfortable with both of your flirtatious behaviors. I am not used to my wife waking to greet you every morning, texting for hours during the day, and spending hours being smitten on FaceTime every night. I think 3 to 5 hours every day is excessive. I know you guys are getting to know each other and fulfilling the voids left by abandonment from your parents. I researched emotional affairs to better understand both of your situations. Siblings are not emotional affairs, are real. I understand you are experiencing some marital issues. Spending 3 to 5 hours every day, 7 days a week on social media with Jamie will not make your marriage situation better. Your wife Carl and family deserve better. Can you tell me Carl is comfortable with your spending so many hours with Jamie? Does she even know? Talking past midnight just doesn't seem right. In fact, it's a sign of an emotional affair. Please read this article and be honest with yourself. You are having an emotional affair. Put yourself in my shoes and know my gut feeling is right. It is my responsibility to safeguard my family. Remember, I tried for years and wanted to find you. I done some amateur genealogy research. My only request you respect my marriage. Slow your roll. It is my wish we become family. We will talk soon. I am going to send you one article on GSA that scared the crap out of me. Thanks for your compassion and understanding. Update: when I attempt to open dialogue with my wife, it is always about her. Her half-brother and family are the victims here. You don't trust me. You are using the texts against me. Quit talking about. We attempted seeking counseling, but Kaiser only has group therapy and she doesn't want to go. I asked what she thinks. We are just going back to how things were. I asked did we have marriage problems prior to her brother coming into the picture. The answer was no. I asked if she was involved in an emotional affair and her answer was maybe a little. Did you talk to your brother about it? Brother indicated no. Husband is crazy and I'll always be here for you, sis. Did you talk about GSA? No, but he is familiar with it, so his wife told her. As far as his wife Carl goes, she has read the above email. She indicated I was jealous, controlling, and perverted. She indicated her husband been alive for 480,000 hours. It is no big deal that he talked to Jamie 150 hours in a month. Well, I think talking for 150 hours in a month is extreme and in fact is 6 days and 6 hours straight if you do the math. I refused to answer any of her or his email. I blocked them both. My wife will not stop talking to her brother. It's going to be a lot less, so she says. She says it's just getting to know him and will fade in time. The reality is the additive behavior only has increased. I told her he cannot come to my house ever. He is a trained soldier and combat veteran. I cannot or will not place myself in harm's way. I did plenty of that as a paid professional firefighter for 30 years. I only seen some on the texts and never made copies. No, he told my wife and she told me they are having marital problems. His wife sent me several negative emails placing all the blame on me. He indicated my email was disturbing and hateful. Yes, he indicated he was going to counseling because of the letter. I find him fake. He tried to impress my wife by telling her he makes $5,000 a month retired. He commanded 60,000 soldiers and never had any issues like this. I guess he want to have a pissing contest. I retired as a fire battalion chief and make a whole hell a lot more than that. I worked in command staff and was the safety officer responsible for a population of 240,000. The truth of the matter, his parents gave up their parental rights when he was adopted out. There are no sibling rights either. He legally belongs to his adoptive family. I told my wife you know very little about him and need to exercise extreme caution. I sent her adoption guidelines and getting to know you family. I told her they share only her mother's DNA. They have zero childhood bonds. In fact, through my research there is most likely one younger brother that was given away. It was so shocking to me. Our kids are 37 and 30, all self-reliant and college graduates. We have 3 grandkids too. We done so many things together like family trips to Hawaii. One of his emails indicate thanks for ruining his life in 30 days. Boo-hoo, it was about a month. My wife feels she is abandoning him. I told her she doesn't know him. It was her mother that gave him up for adoption. She communicates with our daughters daily. She has plenty of lifelong friends and we also spend time with my 82-year-old mother. We have multiple homes. One home is 7 houses away from our daughter who has 3 daughters. We babysit and go to all their school events. She was up a few hours earlier to FaceTime. They texted throughout the day and FaceTime into the wee hours of the morning. Like I indicated earlier, I researched the internet. It surely sounded like an emotional affair. So, I called both of them out. She cut mainly me out. She was acting like a high school kid in love. We've been together since high school. In fact, I took her to her senior ball. That is why I asked if it was GSA or EA. These are extremely emotional events, with GSA being the more powerful. Wife, she told me to quit beating her up over this and why don't I look at the positive aspects of a family reunion. Unbelievable. I've not experienced the feelings of GSA, but here's why this topic is so important to me. I'm the wife, ex-wife, my husband's daughter found us 2 years ago. I was thrilled because I am an adoptee and jumped for joy that this young woman got to find the answers to all the questions we adoptees have. I also got to feel like a mom for the first time, even though she was an adult. My husband had been helping me search for years and had no inkling that he would be the one experiencing a reunion. I felt like I was a coach helping them through it, since I've run through my possible reunion a million different ways in my head and have been reading, researching and searching for 12 years. We invited her to move into our home. I knew about GSA and spoke with them at the get-go that this could get confusing if these feelings came along. I assured them that between the 3 of us as a team, a family, we could deal with anything that came up while they got to experience being reunited. I also knew my husband would never get caught up in those kind of emotions and would never, ever act on them. I was naive and wrong. 3 months after we met her, she told me that they were involved. I confronted him. They moved out together that day. I'm the only person in my circle who believes there is such a thing as GSA and that they aren't just dirty. I have asked them to explain the situation to me. I feel they, especially he, owed it to me to at least give me an explanation of what feelings could be so strong that he just easily walked away from a 12-year relationship that we both knew was strong and wonderful the month before he met his daughter. I also feel that they should have a safe place either with friends, family or professional counselors where they can discuss what must be a very confusing psychological mess for them. I've kept as close to them as my own hurt emotions would allow, over my being betrayed by my one and only love and by who I thought was going to be my new daughter. Our entire group of friends and family have completely rejected them and are thoroughly disgusted. I've even lost many friends because they are grossed out that I could even talk to people like that. My husband tried over and over to quit the affair and live up to his ideal of being the perfect father that she never had. They just haven't been strong enough to stick with it, especially since they have the privacy of living alone together. They are now expecting a baby in June. All I can say is don't go there. I haven't experienced the feelings, but trust me, I've felt the repercussions of how devastating GSA can be. And if my loving, devoted husband, who I know would never have cheated on me under any circumstances, could be overwhelmed by their genetic attraction to the point of giving up our marriage, his home, his family, his parents, and all, our wonderful group of lifelong friends, I can't even imagine what turmoil you are going through. This is tough stuff, and don't think that you can get through it by yourself, armed just with your morals and self-discipline. Update: some people just have poor family relationships, and that is not my fault. Let me air some dirty laundry. My wife has 2 biological half-sisters and 2 brothers from her father who never married her mother and left the relationship when she was 2 years of age. Never any communication from those relatives. On her mother's side, she has possibly 2 half-brothers and 1 half-sister. She grew up with that sister 10 years age difference. She helped raise her, as their mother would be at the bar drinking, and my wife tended to her sister's needs. They no longer talk as her sister is abusive. One brother has the mutual obsession with my wife and the other has not been located. My wife's mother was been institutionalized for suicide and was an alcoholic. Her half-sister been institutionalized in alcohol recovery programs many times and for over a year at a time. My wife's stepfather was a full-blown alcoholic also. My wife is addicted to someone who only shares some DNA. She was sending him morning music prior to getting on FaceTime. It seemed harmless enough. Tammy by Debbie Reynolds, her namesake, and I love to love you baby. Why? So, her main argument to justify her actions is you have a family, I don't. That is why she believes she should be able to continue her harmless actions. I asked, so no family. What about me, your daughters and granddaughters? She wants blood relatives on her side. So crazy, she has plenty of cousins, they rarely communicate. I just need to implement some of the items from all the helpful folks here. Thanks again, it does shed light on my dilemma. I gave my wife a small, immediate family birthday party yesterday. She cried as the COVID-19 has had all of us on lockdown, and it had been months since she has seen some of the folks. We took a lot of pictures. I see them to her with the caption, "This is your family." I spoke with my oldest daughter and told her there is 2 sides on every coin. I told her about many things that would be crossing the E-line. She was surprised because Mom have never mentioned any of that. Again, my wife's main complaint is Dad want to keep me from my brother. We really don't know him at all. It is puppy love. My wife believes my letter to her shared DNA was too much when she asked to read it. So, I gave her a copy of the too strong letter for her memories. This morning, prior to going over the grandkids' house to babysit, I kissed her and looked into her eyes and asked her, have you talked to your brother lately? She said yes, last week on the phone. I asked her, what about the transparency we talked about and our open communication you were supposed to tell me when you made contact? Oh, I didn't know I had to tell you right away. You are being too controlling. She knows I have not got access to the records, but it is coming or I'll close the account. Really, I am going to tell his spouse that he wants to divorce her and she spends too much money. Oh, she was shocked and pissed. That is not your place. Well, that is what he said to you and she admitted that to me true. I asked her to have NC for 3 months because all the smitten stuff is a feel-good med or go get counseling. There is something in your and his abandonment that you both enjoy and it is driving a wedge between our 40-year married. How the hell can someone you never spent a single minute of your life have a priority over our marriage? In 30 days, I've been kicked to the curb. You say that your guy's relationship is nothing, then 3 months should be a short period to detox. This relationship is inappropriate and it is like an additive drug. How can you give me an ultimatum? You're this, you're that. So, did you talk about me or our relationship? Are you still kissy face? No, it is not like that anymore. I'll find a counselor. She really doesn't want to talk about our relationship. It's been swept under the rug. She doesn't understand why I feel the way I do. It is easy, you have fallen in love. And in no time, you'll prioritize him or me again. It is happening right as we speak. He is consuming you thoughts. Okay, well, you don't have to let me know just right now. Think about and like me know tonight. It is really not an ultimatum, just a choice she needs to make. If she doesn't agree, then I know my place. I'm ready to leave tonight and will. If she talks to him, I am going to let his wife know about the divorce. That should make her happy. Looking at the big picture, I am a fit and health man. I am a Native American with hair almost down to my waist. I am sure there are plenty of women who would love to braid my hair. I think it is better to know now than later where I stand. Well, apparently, she has told at least one daughter they gave her an ultimatum. She thinks it blown out of proportion. I filled her in on the truth and she thinks a counselor should decide on NC. I just told her it's hard to stopping drinking when there is beer in the refrigerator. Mom has a serious addiction and with NC if nothing going should be an easy choice. She needs serious detoxification. I told my daughter I gave my mom a choice to see who she loves more. A man she never spent 1 second with in her life or me. A real brother is some you shared a childhood and life with, not just some DNA. Mom is trying to save him. It was her mother that put him out for adoption, not her. She was in shock. It is my brother that does not fair. I gave her until tonight to make a decision. She getting our daughters involved. This is not about control, it is about choices. It seems like a no-brainer to me. Yes, there has to be consequences. She has counseling scheduled at 4 p.m. today. I also reached out to a counselor that specializes in Latino, Hispanic, and Native Americans. Our talks are more constructive. We have had 42 years together and traveled the world. Divorce is rushing it. I spoke to a close friend that'd been through this. His words, "Your wife is a mama bear and nothing you can say or do will change that. She is protecting a cub. In fact, she doesn't want to hear a damn thing from you. You are in a no-win situation. So, talk to a counselor to get a professional opinion. Believe me, you will lose your family." I am glad counseling begins today. The OM acts like he is so upstanding. "I'll always be here for you, sis." I repeated that to my wife and said just like he is planning to leave his wife. She spends too much money and is too self-centered. His words, not mine. Zero integrity. I can only slowly show her what a douchebag this pretender is. Both of our daughters, 30-year-old and 37-year-old, believes he going to asking for money soon. Trash talking about your partner is a sign of an emotional affair. Speaking negatively about your partner to someone else and they offer a listening ear, it is crossing the line of respect in your marriage. His wife is a dingbat and would never believe anything I told her. She backs them speaking 5 hours a day because he was an adoptee. They are family finding themselves and making up for lost time. It is all trash because he doesn't care to meet his father or other half-sister. What about family? They basically have an affair of the hearts. It not physical as they are 2,000 miles apart. They both are living a lie, but it feeds their egos. Time will tell. It is the same argument, he is my brother, nothing going on. I straight out told I would buy her a ticket and take her to the airport. I asked her, does she want her freedom? We can divorce, I am okay with it. We had 42 great years. She assures me nothing going on yet, cries over NC. Obviously, she doesn't contact him around me. All other aspects of our relationship are very good. No doubt I heard over the matter, but not as much as a divorce would be. I have to let a calmer mind prevail. She did the intake for counseling today. It is a start, but she will only tell the counselor what she wants him to hear. My only hope is she get a different angle and comes around. Like all addictions, at a day at a time. Rome was not built in a day. Well, she guards her phone, did see all the texts are deleted. And drawing a letter does not verify E or GSA, rather to document and show me kids' true and quite inappropriate behavior from a marriage women. Her contact has gone from 5 hours to 7 days a week to 1 hour a week. It is start. Okay, I get they have shared DNA. In fact, so does a chimpanzee, 98%. I told her any discussion about me or our relationship is off limits. So, she said she has told him. Perhaps the counselor can make a breakthrough. Also telling her that I am telling the OM wife he said he was going to divorce her in 2 years. She spends too much money and she is self-centered, did not go well. If only I could post her look of shock. You can't do that. You should not have to lose a family to gain one. Tomorrow I am going to post some of the most valuable information for anyone dealing with a family member addiction behavior. It's important to understand where the addictive behavior stems from. Truly great information. The addict's behavior is not controllable unless the addicts want help. And even as much as it hurts you, one must not take it personally. I figured the phone out. Only one contact in a week. That surely is better than 5 hours a day, 7 days a week. Still waiting for the counseling to start. We will see if NC is on the board. He'd been going to counseling, not sure what going there. Their sibling relationship is a pain to deal with, their crappy childhoods. My comment, I think you are headed in the right direction. On a positive note, you have been this lady's best friend for 42 years. If you remove yourself from her life suddenly, I think she will start to see the light and be drawn back mentally to you. However, she's proven herself to be deceptive already. My money would be on another mode of communication that you don't know about. You have no leverage without consequences that hurt her. Pain is a big motivator to change. She won't change if she doesn't stand to lose a lot. Story 2. Don't look back. How much you can forgive someone before it gets past breaking point. My story is quite long, so I won't go through all of it, but my wife, now separated, had an affair and based her new career on this person. They are not together anymore, but she met her current boyfriend who she now lives with, and he was her mentor in her new job, in this new career. There's so much water under the bridge and every day is so hard despite being 6 months since we separated and 18 months since I found out about the affair. We tried for 12 months to make things work, but because of her new career and the positions it puts her in, it was too hard for me to completely let go and trust 100%. There are 2 children involved, so it's not like I can just walk away for the rest of my life. My ex has made it clear how she's thrown all of her life away with her actions and is deeply sorry and really does wish it was different. Basically, without saying the words, I think she wants to be back together. I've never seen her like this before. She's in such a state over everything. For me, with everything that's happened, it was so tough and still is to deal with. She was someone I idolized and did everything I could to make our family happy and secure, and my world came crashing down. How much do you think people can forgive? Because as much as I still love her, there's so much water under the bridge and I just don't know what to do right now. It's like I want to stand tall and strong and say no, but I feel myself being down about it a lot and can't move on enough. We're separated. We're still really amicable, and for the kids especially so. They are my main concern, but I just don't know if it's a huge weakness taking her back. She hasn't thrown anything at me. She's very open and admits it's all her fault what's happened and why we are where we are. I have tried dating a little so far, and it's been not only a welcome distraction from this side of my life, but also good to try and feel for others. I've never thought of taking this to the extremes like as listed. I have thought that I would have to ask her a number of things she must do in order to make this work. One of which would probably be to quit her job. She joined the police, and in the UK the police do have a reputation for affairs and infidelity. It's rife actually. I would need her to give up this career, which is a big ask in my eyes, but if she genuinely wants to be with me, I think it would need to be done. The other is to change her mobile number and remove herself off social media. I would need this to reduce her interaction with other people and to see how committed she was to the relationship. This does sound to me like I'm being controlling, and I don't like this sort of thing, but for me to build any level of trust I would need to see that I, and the kids, and the main focus. My head has been in so many different places recently over this. It's hard to turn off feelings for someone, despite their actions. But when I look at the idea of us being together again, the restrictions on her life, and the measures she will have to go to, I just can't see it happening today. And yes, the thoughts of her with someone else etc. isn't nice at all. It's horrible, but isn't the be-all and end-all of the decision for me. It's strange how some days I just want to have her back, and other days I do stand tall and say, I'm worth more than this, and be strong. The mental side of this is such a chaotic roller coaster, even after all this time. To answer some questions, the affair she had was with a police officer. She was off work until our youngest child was old enough to start reception at school. She started seeing this officer and then decided she wanted to be a police officer too. She'd already got the ball rolling to join up, then I found out about the affair and she was no longer with this person. Skip 12 months forward after I found out, and she's in training out on patrol every day and was paired with a mentor. We weren't in the best of places, in my opinion, because I didn't enforce the restrictions on her life that I should have, and I said I needed a break from each other to see what we wanted. She decided she wanted to call the whole thing off and be able to start seeing other people. Within days she had been out on a date with this mentor, and 5 months later they are living together in rented accommodation with our children, who I do see very regular. Thinking about all of this and being able to get so many different perspectives on this, I think she wants to have her cake and eat it. I think if she wants to come back to me, she definitely needs to show actions speak more than words and do the things required, like splitting from her boyfriend and cutting ties with a few things. Only then, after seeing all of that, can I consider getting back with her. Right now, I think if she did all of that, I will still be looking over my shoulder and worrying about her. I might feel different in reality, but I'm not sure right now. It's just so tough when she has been everything I've ever known, and I lived for her for 16 years. Such a roller coaster of emotions each day. Today it's a strong day to stand tall and not take any nonsense, mainly down to the fact I'm able to voice my concerns on paper here and get some perspective. I can really see the situation I'm in and the strain it will put on me if I was to get back with her. I will be amicable and forgive her, but I can't ever see me forgetting anything and being walked over again, not only by her but anyone. I saw the signs and ignored them at the time as I wanted them to not be real. You can't screw up someone's life up as much as she did to me and then pretend it didn't happen. Amazing how clear the water is now. Standing tall today and believing I'm worth something to the right person. Haven't been able to do that for such a long time. She isn't that person. She won't be that person again. Not in this lifetime anyway. My comment: what you are going through is the 5 stages of grief. But once you accept it, truly what she has done, you see that the mind movies that will repeat and repeat just isn't worth it. And you are plan B. But what is happening is now is the same. You will live from this point forward. Strong and then weak, but the desire you wish for can never put back in place. You know this on your strong days. You have not written what you know she did for you. They generally do more for the affair partner. This will bring resentment in your heart if you allow her to return. Don't kid yourself. It would never ever be what it once was if this is your mindset or think forgiveness can overcome this.